Okay, so welcome to the second Excel project. I have the instructions printed, so I'm just going to get straight into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to File and Save As, and make sure that you choose your file path destination, so your downloads or your documents most people choose, or their desktop, and change it to _2. Save. Okay, so the name is changed up here, which is perfect because that is what it's going to need to be for you to submit it on SAM. Okay, so step 1, Shanice Trainer is the warehouse manager for the Roadrunner Online Warehouse in Detroit, Michigan. The warehouse specializes in automobile parts which consumers buy from Roadrunner Online. Shanice has started to create an Excel workbook to track items in the warehouse inventory. She asks you to format the workbook to make the information clearer and easier to understand before she finishes entering data. Go to the bin worksheet. Change the name of the worksheet tab to bin list to use a more descriptive name. So this is your tab down here. We'll right click on it and we're going to rename, and it's bin list, and I just hit enter. Step 2, bottom align the contents of the range C3, C13 to match the alignment of the other cells on the worksheet. So C3 to C13. And we're going to bottom align. So here's your alignment here. Bottom. So I chose the long way to show you how you can get there and see it described, but you could also just choose bottom right here. So this here is top, middle, and bottom. Okay, step 3, format the list of bins to emphasize that the information belongs together as follows. A, apply outside borders to the range A1 to C13. So we're going to go A1 to C13, and we need to do an outside border. So our borders are right here. If you hover over, you'll see, well, that's bottom border. So we're going to click on the drop down so we get some options here, and outside border is what we're going to choose. So if I just deselect it, I can see that the outside has a border now. B, change the border color to blue gray accent 3. Okay, so I'm going to highlight my range again, and I'm going to go back here and I'm going to have a look at the line color. That's what my border color is going to be, and blue gray accent 3, which is 7th column, 1st row. 7th column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1st row, blue gray accent 3. There we go. I had to select the right range. Cool. Alright, so just make sure that you select the right range after you choose your color. And if you just make a mistake, easy enough, just go up and hit undo. Alright, step 4, apply the short date number format to cell B15 to use a more common date format. So B15, we have to change the date format. Okay. So you're going to make sure you have B15 selected. You're going to go up to date and choose short date. Step 5, in page layout view, enter warehouse bins in the center section of the header to provide a meaningful header when Shanice prints the worksheets. Alright, so we're going to have a look at our header. There's page layout. This is where you find your headers. So we're going to go warehouse bins. Alright. outside of that so I can then go back to normal view, and this other one over here is page break view. Okay, so this is the one that we usually operate in, and they just asked us to go to page layout to check out our headers and footers. Step 6, go to the inventory list worksheet. To make it stand out, format the worksheet title in cell A1 as follows. A, change the font to Calibri Light. So, Calibri Light. B, change the font size to 20 points. Oops. C, change the font color to Indigo Text 2. So they don't give you an example of what they're looking for, so you just have to hover and find it. D, bold the worksheet title. E, merge and center the worksheet across the range A1 to I1. Alright, so I'm going to select A1 to I1, and I'm going to choose merge and center. Sometimes I have to hover till I find things. Alright, so merge and center is right here. If you, there you go. If you hover over it, you'll see merge and center. Okay, step 7, resize the width of column B using autofit. So here's column B, and we need to autofit to display the full text. So we're going to right click, and we're going to go down on column width. Autofit isn't down there. Another quick way to do autofit is to go on the line right here and double click, and it'll autofit it automatically, but I'm going to show you how to find it without doing that. So sometimes you can find what you're looking for with the right click, which is usually like the shortcut menu. But for this one, if we go to column width, we can only type in an exact number, and we don't know what that is right now because it's autofit. So we're going to have to keep it selected, and we're going to have to go to the big toolbar and go to format, and then here you'll see autofit column width, and it'll do the same thing that it's done if you put your cursor over the line of the column and then double clicked. Okay. Step 8. Shanice asks you to find any duplicate entries and then delete them. Respond to her request as follows. A, in the range A5 to A16, use conditional formatting, highlight cell rules to highlight duplicate values in light red fill with dark red text. So A5 to A16, A5, A16, we are going to create a conditional formatting, highlight cells rule, highlight duplicate values. So we're going to go down to duplicate values, and we just choose what they ask for, which is the default, light red fill, dark red text. Okay. B, delete the row containing the second duplicate value. So they're showing right here that both of these are the same. Wiper blades, B201, B201. So it says delete the row containing the second. So this is the second one. I'm going to highlight the row by clicking on number 15, and I can right click here and do delete. So then it gets rid of it. That conditional formatting rule is still applied, but where there are no duplicates, you're not seeing any red. Step 9. Shanice wants to keep a running count of the items in inventory. In cell B3, enter a formula that uses the COUNTA function to count the values in the range B5 to B15 to determine the number of items in inventory. So in cell B3, we're going to use a COUNTA function. So we'll go equals so that it recognizes we're using a formula. And we're going to use a function. So I'm just going to start typing it in, and we get count there, and I double click. It shows up here and here. Down here is the quick explanation of what you need to use and put inside your brackets. And it says count the values in the range B5 to B15, so I'm just going to highlight them. So B5 to B15, and I'm going to close it with a bracket and hit enter. So there you go, you got 11 items. Step 10, Shanice wants to display the entire text in cell F4, but format it so it requires less horizontal space. Make this formatting change as follows. A, set the width of column F to 9. So as we seen earlier, we can do that quickly by clicking on the column, right-clicking, and going down to column width, and we can put in an exact number here. So we're going to go 9, and then B says to wrap the contents of cell F4 to display the text on 2 lines. F4. So we'll click on F4 specifically, and wrap text is just up above merge and center. There you go. Step 11, apply shading to the range A2, B3 using aqua accent 4, lighter 60%. And then it tells you where to find it, to separate the range from the rest of the worksheet. So we're going to apply the shading A2, B3, A2, B3. And the shading is up here with a tipped over paint can. 8th column, 3rd row. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. Aqua accent 4, lighter 60%. You got it. That's it. Step 12. To format the value as a dollar amount, decrease the number of decimal places in cell A3 to 2. So A3 is 3 decimal places right now, and we're going to decrease it to 2. Step 13. Apply the accent 3 cell style to the range A4 to I4. A4, I4. Cell styles right here. And we are going for accent 3. Here we go. Step 14, apply the accounting number format to the range G5 to H15. So G5. Notice how when I click on each cell, the column and row will highlight a little bit there, so you know which one you're on. G5 to H15. Okay. Accounting, so here's our number group here. We're going to click up in general and we're going to choose accounting. Step 15, Shanice wants to know at a glance which items have the most inventory value. In the range H5 to H15, use conditional formatting to create data bars rule with the gradient fill blue data bar to color option. So H5 to H15. H5, H15, we're going to go up to conditional formatting, and we're going to go to data bars, and we're going to choose gradient fill blue data bar. Gradient fill blue data bar. Cool, eh? Step 16, Shanice also wants to highlight the items that need to be reordered. In the range I5 to I15, use the conditional formatting highlight cells rule to format cells containing a value containing a value. Text that contains reorder in light red fill with dark red text, which is default. Okay. Step 17, in cell G16, enter a formula using the average function to display the average cost of the parts in the warehouse, which is range G5 to G15. So we're in G16. We're entering in a formula, so we always put our equal sign in. We're using a function, which is words, I always say. I'm going to start by typing them in, and when it comes up, I'm going to double click on it. And it's got an open bracket there waiting for me to fill in what I want to get the average of. So that is the range G5 to G15. So G5 to G15 I will highlight. It shows up there in my formula, and I close my bracket and hit enter to get the answer. Step 18, in cell G, oh, there you go, hit enter, move down, G17. Enter a formula using the min function. So again, we'll put our equal sign in. Min, I'll start typing, and here's min. Double click, open bracket. And it asks you to use the same range again. So G5, G15. Close my bracket, enter. Step 19, in cell G18, which is where my insertion point went after I hit enter. Enter a formula using the max function, so equals again to identify the cell as having a formula, and we're going to use the max function. So max, double click, and now it's an open bracket, and again it's the same range. So we're going to go G5 to G15, close the bracket, and hit enter. Step 20, check the spelling in the workbook to identify and correct any spelling errors. So that means we're going to go up to review, and we're going to go spelling. Yes. Radiator. We will change. Cute. Okay. Step 21, change the tab color of inventory list worksheet. So that's down here. And we're going to right click, and we are going to change tab color here to blue-gray accent 3, which is the 7th column, first row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, first row, blue-gray accent 3. Okay. And that is the end of this project. So now just hit your save button there to make sure that it's all saved up, and you can go to SAM and submit for grading. Thanks, and we'll see you in the third project.